shaking the shoulder, arms are going to be in Superman position, straight above the head. If you can access that position. Not everyone is going to be able to access this full Superman position, okay? So you're going to grasp proximal or distal to the wrist?
Distal. I mean proximal.
Proximal to the wrist. Okay? I'm going to lean back. So I'm not pulling back. Difference. Leaning back. And shaking. I could also... That's it. It's that simple. You want to make sure you have traction first. So this is like the cousin, like the larger cousin to vibrating, right? Except you do it for a very short period of time. We're not going to be doing this for more than 10 seconds.
Can we have that rule with vibrating?
Huh?
Can we have that rule with vibrating?
No. It's in the book, 30 seconds to 3 minutes. So,
3 minutes, good.
so essentially, that's it. The things that we're looking for here are extension with the elbow. So that's kind of a destimulated area. So we want this to be completely extended, okay? Also, don't want to take her out of her natural range. So if you have someone who has an extensive kyphotic curve, that is generally an indication, a kyphotic curve, of missing directly overhead because of the position the scapula goes on the back of the thoracic spine. Okay? So the scapula can't reach this until our chest is able to come through an extension. So if you have someone like that, know that you're not going to be able to get this overhead shoulder to ear position or bicep to ear position. You're going to have to live with this this position here or even here. Just know that. Keep that in mind. We're right above the articulation of the wrist. We get traction. And you could also do this, okay, or unilaterally. You wouldn't have to do this together, although you could, you know, to save time and whatnot.
Can you show us what body mechanics would be like if they could not get to that shoulder to ear position? Would your arms just be down lower?
Yeah, I mean,
really
technically you could sit if you wanted to. Be here.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
It would depend on your ability to get to the flow. So I wouldn't advise doing this if this were the direct effect of the massage. That was a lot of space, and that's not flow. But you know, I mean, if you're confident in your ability to transition to the next thing with flow, then absolutely sit on the floor and do that. So don't put yourself in a position you can't get out of.
Cool.
You know. Thanks, Linda. Will you go ahead and lay on your back, por favor?
Sure.
Por favor. Por favor.
All right. So the shoulder in the supine position is going to be 90 degrees here and to the upper torso. So upper arm to upper torso, 90 degrees. 90 degrees at the wrist. It's a 90 and 90. Okay? And all you're going to do is basically pick up right just proximal to the wrist. Good good grip here. And I'm just using my pinkies and my thumbs and doing a nice pendulum motion, a shaking motion.
That looks
Does that feel
nice.
wonderful?
Yes.
And see how my path is just my wrists going like this. Simple. And then in that, this motion's going to happen. And every once in a while, I'll surprise her to make sure that she's not doing it for me. Because about 50% of all clients are going to start doing this for you after a certain period of time. Because we human beings love control. That's my theory on it. And that is what it is. I do the same thing when I have to tell Justin, like, am I holding? No, you're fine. Okay, cool. So you'll have to just keep that in mind. So I give them unscripted things so that they can't follow along. And for better or worse, that might really bug them, I don't know. But for me, it's like I need to be able to manipulate the shoulder without the muscle tension that people are doing this for me. Then you're not shaking anything, they're moving stuff. So that's shaking on the shoulder. You essentially, so in the sitting position, this is going to be your angle. This, like, I don't know, whatever that would be, 45-degree angle or something like that. You essentially could do the exact same thing as well. This is not in the book, but something that makes sense to me. So you could do the same thing here. Oh, it would be easy like this. Okay, to do shaking this way for the shoulder. I would probably refrain from doing shaking this way, just because now we're really forcing them to be in a position that isn't. Not everybody can get into this position easily, and for a lot of people, this causes a lot of impingement up here in the top of the shoulder. It is interesting to do this and find out what's going on down here, but it's usually a factor for most lay people. Can't do that, can't access that position. So it's better on supine because we're much more controlled in the anterior portion of our body and it can't come up. So everything is truer there, I think, than it is here. That's it for the shoulder. I don't think I do much other shaking. Yeah, that's it. Wrist. So for the wrist, simple, you're just going to bend the elbow. Same thing. Here, or turn it. Done this already, so you know this. So we're shaking here. She's smiling each time I do more. So those are the two ways to shake the wrist. I don't know if there's another way to shake it, to be honest with you. Once in a while, what I'll do is I'll put my fingers in the articulation, my thumbs in the articulation, and then my fingers underside, and I'll kind of actually shake from the wrist. But this is a no, I don't do this to everybody. They gotta have pretty strong extensions and flexors of the arm or of the wrist, and I gotta have confidence in the wrist stability and no injuries. But I'll do that to open up the articulation, so it's really good for carpal tunnel or people that are talking about numbness in the hands. I'll just grab it and actually do the shaking from there, and all I'm trying to do is to open that articulation up just a little bit. That's the wrist. Very simple, very straightforward. Hip. Okay, this one's probably one of my favorites. So let's go ahead and have you turn over prone again and slide up into the face cradle, Linda. Thank you very much.
It's nice to move the body, isn't it?
Yes.
So hip number one. Hip number one is going to be extension. Okay, so extension. Knees and extension, hips and extension. And I'm going to grab above the ankle. Okay. Apply traction. And shake. And I'm going to try to sustain this for about 10 seconds. Because I really want, as I'm shaking, I really want that shake to get into the acetabulum and the head of the femur, and even get up into the QL if possible. So I want to maintain that as much as I can without completely burying my breathing and so on. And it's a lot to shake the leg like that.
Is it kind of like the vibrating we just did, but more
It's kind of like
drastic
the vibrating,
version?
except it's way more coarse.
Okay.
So this is like hitting your coffee
How
grinder
many
once
times
with a brick.
per minute?
How many times per minute? I don't think it says, to be honest with you. No, it doesn't. I don't know. Let's say 60 to 80. I think would be appropriate. But you wouldn't do it for a minute. You'd do it for like 20 seconds.
Are you lifting the entire knee up as well, like the entire leg, or is the knee on the table?
I am with Linda. I'm lifting up a little bit. The knee's a little bit on the table, but I'm definitely lifting with traction the calf or the shin. That wouldn't apply to everybody. If you've got knee issues, then I would just say go back
Okay.
and shake from here. You're still going to get some stuff done. If they don't have incredibly tight hips, so as hip flexors, and have mobility with extension, not everybody has mobility with extension. If they have that mobility and don't have a hyper anterior pelvic tilt, then I think you're okay with a little bit more of this. If they have a lot more anterior pelvic tilt, I wouldn't do it. It just doesn't make anatomical sense. So everybody knows what I mean by anterior pelvic tilt? Okay. So we're just here. That's number one. That's extended. That's extended. So this one is going to be flex knee, extended hip, and now we're moving laterally. More of a lateral. This is one of my favorites. Might even be my favorite. Absolutely love, 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 love it. Hands interlaced. Proximal to the ankle. Hands interlaced, proximal to the ankle. Absolutely imperative. You get that every single time. This one, usually I do this after I put oil on, and it's heck and a hand basket. Just for the simple fact that now you're going to slide up. So all I'll do is I'll throw the sheets up like this and grab like that.
That's if you have oil on.
Yeah, if I have oil on. So you're gonna, good body mechanics, you get down in your squat and grip the leg, then you extend the knees. So now I'm about 4 inches off the table with the knee, and I've done nothing with my low back except stand up. And then my pinkies come towards my ribs, and my thumbs go away from me, and then they go back the other way. How's that feel, Linda?
Good.
And if you want to get tricky to rock a rhyme, you can push away with your palm and kind of put some traction. But that's more of an advanced dance step. I wouldn't advise that today. Find that on your own later. And this is a good one to release them, because she's holding a little bit. It's just there's a little guarding going on, and for a lot of us there is. A lot of the stretching, rotating that we're gonna do, maybe even this one shaking. You can drape as well as you want, even with the diaper drape, and it's gonna come a little bit undone with the shaking. So things like this that are going to expose a little bit, and they know they're gonna expose, so they'll hold and guard. I do after the session with clothes on the table. Leave like 5 minutes. Some of the stretching and the rotating and stuff. Actually, a lot of the stretching we're gonna do that. So you just pick up and shake. And this is about moving the knee forward and backward. It's not about moving the ankle. We don't want to move the ankle. I want the ankle to stay right there. I want my foot, my hands in space to stay in the same spot. Okay, so go ahead and let your leg be dead weight, Linda.
It kind of hurts the bone.
It does hurt the bone.
Okay.
I'm saying, I'm confirming it. It does hurt the bone? Where my grip is, or in your hip?
Where your grip is.
Ah, where my grip is. Okay, thank you for telling me. So, tell me if it's the same thing happens this time?
Okay. No.
No? Okay, so a little bit higher, get a little bit more in the meat of the calf, and I'm lightening my grip as well.
Thank you.
Yep. So that's good feedback. She was holding because of that, I think.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot more freedom. That's good. So, shaking the hip.
Oh.
Very simple, very easy.
I thought we were going to be doing like shaking them on there.
No. Ankle, there's 3 variations. I'm only going to show you 2 because I think they're the most applicable.